Welcome to AlphaISM Radio. Tonight is April. No, it's not April. It's May the 1st, 2007. Tonight, I have Alex Strife. He is calling from Web2Zone. And hopefully a little bit later, I'll get in touch with Alex Wolf. He was also supposed to be on the show tonight. So before I, start everything off, I just wanted to welcome everybody to the show. If you're listening for the first time, go to alphaism.com. There's directions on there on how to participate. I tell people all the time, headsets are very cheap. I got mine for $13, and you can get them even like for $10 at some places. So just for something for you to keep in mind. All right. All right, I think we're just about ready, so I'm just going to go ahead and start with the interview. Hello?
Hey there, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it? Everything working all right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
All right, so just tell us, briefly about your event and everything.
Well, my event is called Slam Saturday Nights. It's actually a joint venture with Team Hate, TXP, and a lot of other local NYC gamers that I know personally. We started doing Casual Fridays, and by the way, if anyone's interested, we still do them. I'll get to that in a minute. But essentially what it is a giant get-together of fighting game players to basically get in competitions, basic stuff that's been done for a long, since fighting games have existed. The only difference in this, in the vision I had and, the experience everybody had, was that, one of the things I've had complaints about, throwing 20s and seeing other 20s is that the entry fees are way too high. It's like there's a risk of losing compared to, spending all the money. So instead, we just made the venue fee $10, and we pretty much said, okay, every tournament we do will be about $2. We want everybody to join, have a good time, and at this event we actually had 39 players for Street Fighter Third Strike, and also 27 for CVS2, 32 for Guilty Gear, 25 or so for Multi Blood, and 10 to 15 for 5 and Super Turbo respectively.
Okay. I missed the first part. Okay. Everyone messaged me all at once. So is this Slamming Saturday Nights, is this going to be every Saturday, or is it bi-weekly, what?
What our goal was to have it every month. Unfortunately, due to the fact that a lot of big tournaments have been happening, we've had to space it out. Our first Slam Saturday Night was actually February 10th, and this was our second one, which is, obviously a good few months away. So I think what we're kind of thinking is, if it's not going to be every month, we're trying to think every 2 to 3 months. So it's going to be probably basically every quarter. So, but we're going to try to keep it as much as, keep it going frequently. The events go really well. Every time we've had it, more people would show up. We went from 79 to 105, so it's looking pretty good as of right now.
Okay. All right. And so the games that it's going to be involved are Third Strike, Marvel, CVS2, Guilty Gear. Which version of Guilty Gear, by the way?
Right now we're using Guilty Gear Slash, but we will be switching to Axon Core as soon as it's available for import.
Okay. All right, cool.
But basically, they're going to be every game that's been used for Evo, as well as some smaller games like HNK, aka the Fist of North Star fighting game. Also, we're trying to go into a little bit of Darkstalkers, Arcana Hearts once it comes out in import. So we're really trying to not only get into the Evo games, but we're trying to expand to the other games, which everybody loves to play.
Yeah, that sounds cool. So again, tell me what is the interest fees again?
The entry fee for every tournament is $2. And the venue fee is $10. The venue is really big. It's 2 floors. It's called Web2Zone. It's located at 54 Cooper Square in New York. And it's basically this giant land center for not only console but also for PC. We're actually very known for our holding one of the biggest Counter-Strike tournaments available. But when I came on board, I immediately said, I want fighting games, I want console, let's do this. So we had a downstairs area made for the console. And, once we started getting bigger and bigger events, we decided to have it upstairs and downstairs. So that's why the venue fee is $10. But to your question, yes, our tournaments are $2 each, and like I said, our goal is to have more people enter instead of like people worrying about money. But we're actually working towards that as well, which I'll get to, if, in a minute if you want.
Okay. And you had another one this past Saturday, so tell us how that went.
This past Saturday was really, really well. We had, like I said, 104 people, actually 105 technically, and, to summarize what happened was, it was a great atmosphere, we used both floors, we did, tournaments, everyone was filled up, I mean, nothing was lower than 15, which were only 2 games, everything else was about 25, 32 players.
Nice.
We actually, excuse me?
Nice, I was just saying nice.
Oh, thank you. We randomly ran a Tekken 5 DR tournament. We had 15 players right there. We had DOA 4 players. We had KOF players. We had basically every player. I mean, our lowest turnout, my one gripe about it was the lowest turnout was Marvel, which was about like 10, 12 players last time I checked. But I believe that, Marvel players, after hearing AlphaISM and seeing, that Web 2 Zone is the place for fighting game console players, that they'll start coming out here to support us.
All right. Cool. I mean, hey, over 100 people, that's nothing, to sneeze at, so, I'm very happy, for you guys, that you were able to, get the tournament, get such a good turnout for a relatively unknown tournament, because I didn't know about it before you told me about it.
Yeah,
so.
well, not to brag, but I think that our place, we've been dealing with a lot of competition from this other store where Empire Arcadia holds their events called Night Clan. And I can honestly say with full confidence that, our tournaments have pretty much, for Slam and Saturday Nights, have beaten any of their tournaments that they've ever held at their store. And even, when we didn't have the 2 top multi-bub players, which were, in my opinion, are ZTB and Spooky, we still had a lot of Milky Bud players, and this is considered their major.
Mm-hmm.
So, for them to consider my event their major get-together is a lot to say about, all those games that, some people may look down upon and others look really high up. And I can't thank enough, like Master Chibi and, Spooky and all of them for supporting us. And, again, thanks. I congratulate them on their performance at Showdown Championship. But, like I said, our event was probably, over that weekend, there were 2 events held that day. One held by JC Media, which I'll get to in a second, and, the other one was Showdown Championship, and I can confidently say our event was probably the best ran, as well as the most attended and most, positively, there was so much positive, feedback. Everybody loved it. There were no complaints. Even if there were complaints like, the heat, that's something we're easily going to fix. We already added AC. We even changed we even bought brand new chairs. Some of the chairs were kind of they're PC chairs, so they're kind of not really gamer-wise, but we brought nice, comfy new chairs for everybody. And, I'm really here to, tell everybody and let everybody know that this is the place for console gaming. This is the place for if somebody has never touched a arcade stick to come down here with their PS2 pad, get a couple of games in on Third Strike, or even if there are a couple of veterans like Arturo or Jerron. I mean, I invite them here. If you guys want to play Tournament Fighter, I'll set it up for you guys. That's what we're all about here at Web 2 Zone.
Mm-hmm. All right. You know what? By the way, I just got a message from Comeback386 on SRA.
Oh, Kyle, yeah.
He says that he attended both of the events, and he says they were the best events that he has been to besides NEC. So I'm happy that you guys was able to get such positive feedback. There's a lot of people who were not too thrilled with the fact that that ECC is gone, and now it's just Evolution East. So maybe this will be able to fill some of that void
No.
that ECC had, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, when we first started this, this is the story how I started. Casual Fridays, which let me plug that. It's every Friday at Web2 Zone, $10. You pay and you play fighting games all night and just enjoy yourself. So anybody who's interested, who's in the New York City area, wants to come down, come by. We have regulars like Nick T come by. Top Guilty Gear players, top Third Strike players come by once in a while. So I really want to get people to come by. When I first started, I remember, a friend of mine named Hold That, and he came to me and was like, hey, why don't you do it on Saturday? That'd be great. Mad people will come. And, when I first started, I was kind of scared because I really didn't know the community, and Empire Arcadia, I knew a lot about Empire Arcadia, so I knew, they kind of had a grip on New York City. So, they told me, hey, why don't you talk to Master Chibi? He'll hook you up with another guy. The guy's named DXP. Everybody likes him or something like that. I mean, that's what this guy tells me. So I'm like, okay, why is he called DSP? And, then I hear the whole stories. I start reading up on SRK, and I'm like, oh, boy, I hope this guy's not a jerk. But no, and I meet him in person, and I talk to him. I'm like, oh, this guy's not that bad.
I heard nothing but, you know what, as far as EXP is concerned, I have heard nothing but positive things as far as has him in person. It's just that what he does online is what ultimately gets him in trouble. So
yeah,
I've learned that a long time ago that that there's a difference between him online and offline. So
when I'm a lot of these kids I meet online. I mean, Comeback, I thought he was black. He's this white boy. It looks like he's from the OC, and I love him because he's awesome. And he's this nice kid. I'm like, wait, you're Comeback? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I thought you were this dude, this ghetto kid, because that name is so off, throws you off. But it's amazing.
I'm glad that his name makes you think ghetto. I mean,
yeah, I mean, but you know what? That's what's great about the internet, and that's what's great about getting together in person. Because when you associate people to faces, you realize that they're totally different, and that their whole persona is just something that.
So what you're saying is, had he be black, you wouldn't get with him. You wouldn't be able to get along with him that way.
No. I'm just saying, he's just, it's just surprising to see how, every medium.
You want to bring slavery back, I'm guessing.
No. I'm Puerto Rican, man. So I already know so I'm totally against slavery. But I was really shocked because he's, even when Hold That, when I first met him, I thought he was some white boy, and he turns out to be one of my best friends, and he's black. I love how I can go to an event and meet a bunch of people and find out how.
Hold on for a second. I got to see.
Sure, no problem.
I'm trying to see you. Come on, computer. Yo, on AlphaISM Radio. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Comeback.
Oh, hey, Comeback. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, I'm just trying to plug my event. What's up?
Not much. I wanted to call in and tell you the event was amazing. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing.
Thank you for bringing Fist of the North Star tournament. First one I ever seen. Some tough competition.
Fist of the North Star. Why would you bring that broken ass game?
Hey, man. My personal opinion is if people want to do it, let's do it. If a bunch of people said let's go play Guilty Gear, let's play Guilty Gear. If a bunch of people yell out,
Guilty Gear ain't broken. Yeah. All right, that's fine. Hey, if you're gonna bring Shaq Fu there, hey, I ain't gonna complain. So.
Hey, man, if people played Shaq Fu, I would pay for see that, man. It's it's amazing, how people come into play. When I first watched Melty Blood, I was like, what kind of retarded game is this? But then Chibi's showing me how awesome it can be, and then I'm watching at the first Slam Saturday Nights how the competition was between Spooky and ZTB, and it's amazing. It's oh, everybody's yelling, and.
That actually, if I may enter, Melty Blood actually, that was a surprise to me how big a turnout that was at your event, because when I went up to TGA, I don't even think you got that many at TGA, and at NEC, I think the pool was maybe 10 or 15 people at best, and even Chibi got 30 people at the last one. I think he got about 30 people this time. I mean, that game, as much as they trash it on the forums and stuff, it's a very fun game to play. And I'm hearing Arcania Hearts is supposed to be equally as good, and that's supposed to be even more warped than what Melty Blood is.
And even if you look at this, look at Showdown Championship, how a lot of the tournaments, if not all, had less than 32 people, and Chibi was managed to get 30 people, and the other Showdown Championship had a lot of money thrown into it. So it's amazing to
that's-
see like how people support you if you push it hard. And I give all the props in the world to Master Chibi because that guy, you know, he may not be the best player, but he pushes that game and he loves that game. And I got to give him 100% credit on, you know, Melty Blood. You know, when he first told me, hey, I want Melty Blood, I was like, what game is this? But he shows me, he's like, I really love it. And when I saw his eyes, I was like, let's do it. Let's see how it goes. And then, you know, it went really well. And I remember the first one, he was just like screaming like a wild man that he got like all these people. He's like, oh, this is better than Nightland, blah, blah, blah. You know, screw that place. He's like, he was flipping out like a nut job. And that's what I love about, you know, going to hang out with these guys because, yeah, they're my age and they're able to have as much fun as like a little 10-year-old kid. And that's why I love these kids. I mean, these guys.
That's why these tournaments are so good. That's
yeah,
exactly
I mean,
why these tournaments can be held.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, I gotta give thanks to, like, everybody who helped me. But, you know, I have a couple of announcements about the next one. This is some big announcements because I think that, you know, it's gonna really change how Slam Saturday Nights is held. One of the things that, you know, Web2Zone noticed, and if you don't know, Web2Zone is owned by, I believe, is a subsidiary of Samsung of America. So, when I tell you this, it will possibly happen. It's actually in the works right now. I'm working on it. Like I said, if anybody doesn't know, Web2Zone at the event added an extra $20 for the 6 major tournaments that happened there. I don't know if any of you guys noticed this, but every tournament, like Guilty Gear, Third Strike, Marvel, a bunch of them all were added $20 into the pot. You know, which is, you know, which was a good amount considering, you know, it was these tournaments, you know, you'd win for Third Strike. It's like 30-something players, and you're winning $72. An extra $20 is pretty cool. Here's what we're doing. We got new chairs, so they're going to be nice and soft. I don't know, Kyle, if you saw the chairs that were near the IMAX. You saw those?
Yeah, I saw those. Besides the ones that we were sitting on that couldn't move for like 2 inches.
Well, you know how comfy the iMac ones were? We just bought a bunch of them for the store. So we're gonna have new chairs. We're also gonna have sponsors. We're gonna be working our ass off to get sponsors, pot bonuses, and not just $20. We're talking about $150 pot bonuses, and we're gonna get, you know, the entire upstairs, the entire downstairs. We're gonna have every tournament, you know, we possibly can. We're gonna have about 6 to 8 major tournaments with the pot bonuses and the side tournaments, which include Hokuto no Ken, any team tournaments and anything. But, you know, Web2Zone sees the potential. Web2Zone, you know, would like to personally thank everybody for coming. But we will make sure that the next one will be just as good, if not better. And we will make sure those pot bonuses come along. Because I know once the pot bonuses come, I'll finally get to see, you know, Justin. I'll finally get to see Yipes and all these guys come down because I really want them to come to these events. I think our New York event, you know, I feel saddened to say that, you know, I didn't see a lot of New York people that I knew. I always see at CTF, and I knew that they knew about it.
Hello?
But, you know, I think that, you know, maybe if I, you know...
Hello?
Alex, hold up, I think the guy wants to talk.
Don't forget about the radio host, you know.
My apologies, man. I'm just like I said, you should have seen me that day. I was totally screaming like, oh my god, we got 100
Yo,
people.
you should have heard this guy. You knew exactly when 100 people hit because you could not hear anything above his voice as soon as 100 people hit the place.
Dude, do you know who the 100th person was?
Well,
it's a friend
I
of mine.
wanted to ask a question actually, and that is, have you guys considered like doing any type of? I mean, I don't know. I mean, Apex is gone. But have you ever thought about, like, you know, making this like an official, you know, event where there'll be some type of rankings involved, you know? So
there are rankings for Melty Blood. There are rankings for Guilty Gear. We're probably gonna do like I said. I think, you know, our first 2 events were to build it, and I think, you know, that'd be a really good idea. I have to talk to like I said, I speak for Web2Zone right now, so, you know, I can't say much on what DSP envisions it, and, you know, we really have to sit down and talk about it. But I honestly think, you know, it would be a great idea. I think that our tournaments, there's so many people coming, and what amazed me at these tournaments is that it's not a lot of New York kids that I see. It's a lot of out of states. I mean, I'm talking about people from Connecticut. Team Hate came up. You know, you have people from Delaware a guy brought his own TV from Delaware, and that's pretty far from New York City as last time I checked. You know, like I said, there were 2 problems I had. One was the lack of Marvel players because I really want to see Marvel competitively and see everybody get hyped.
I can if I can intervene for that, I think I can talk to some of the Philly heads from Marvel. Like I can talk to Sanford. I can talk to DeHio. These are people that actually that tournament that I was telling you about that I ran the weekend before. They came out to that tournament, and the place that I ran at was called Cyberzone. It's in Neshaminy Mall, right in Bensalem. I remember Alex, when I was talking to you about maybe doing some sort of joint venture. If you're talking about doing ranking battles and stuff like that, maybe we can set up something with the LAN center that I'm helping run tournaments for, and possibly get something going.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like, I would love to do that. But there is something that really, like, this is a personal thing that really hurt me about the event, was the lack, if not no, Virtual Fighter players came. Not one. I didn't see one.
I don't know about that.
A lot of the DOA 4 players weren't there. I do know why they weren't here. I know they were in Virginia. I know they're at JC Media's event. And I'm not going to knock their event, but, it was really disappointing to see, the New York locals not show up. It really, as a person who knows them personally, it really hurt me. And, a lot of the 3D players didn't show up that I really wanted. And we could have had a bigger event. But, I think that, based on what happened this weekend, and like I said, we had the best ran event, Texas.
Hey. One thing. On the, someone wants to ask, is there an age minimum? There's a guy he's 17 and he wants to go for Third Strike.
No, there's no age minimum. There's never been an age minimum. These games are rated teen, there's no big deal. I mean, at our store, we're okay with it. Even if we did, we would tell you to all you gotta do is get your parents' permission. And that's it. But, for this thing, you don't need to be, a certain age. I mean, if you're a little like infant, you're playing Third Strike, that means there's something going on there, but that's another story, But, I just think that, it was a pretty good event, and I'm really happy with everybody who came. And, again, I was really saddened to see a lot of the people I knew who went to Virginia. I understand Showdown Championship for Arturo and all of them, because that was basically, they went there and they showed everybody that, the New York City kids and the East Coast people can play. But, like I said,
down at those events, man, that was all like Japanese players. He brought people like Nuki over and Takedo and stuff, and to sit there and place in a competition with like Evo World like caliber players and stuff, that's just amazing to me. I want to give all the props out to Spooky and them.
Yeah, Arturo, Spooky, ZTB, I give you guys 100% props, and I'm so proud of you guys, and I can't wait to see those guys again. But like I said, the VA event, I heard a lot, like I said, that event, the Showdown event, and the one in VA run by JC Media, and specifically Jim Master, I was just reading up on forums, and I heard they weren't that good either. And it's really sad to see, like, our event went so well, and I want to talk about that
for a second, because, in all due respect, when you're talking about other people's events, word of mouth is touch and go. Sometimes word of mouth is accurate. Sometimes it's not very accurate. And I give you a good example. I mean, when you're talking about like the JC Media, people don't understand, like some of the logistics are involved when you're dealing with sponsors. See, you guys are not dealing with sponsors.
I understand. So, I heard a lot of what happened, the backstory, and I mean, it's really sad that they were if it's true that they were given grief. I mean, I just want everybody to focus on the positives of the events.
Right. I don't want people to. So the thing about I just don't want people to get the wrong idea about their events, because if they stop going, that still hurts the community. I mean, we shouldn't be biting off of each other, trying to, be vultures. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So Kyle, come back. What were you saying?
I had a friend of mine, my buddy Sam, who is the manager at Cyberzone. He was down at the JC Media event. He runs the Gears of War team, High Council. He can actually give you a full description of that event. If you'll give me a second, I can put him on the phone for you. If you guys want to hear what that event was really like.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, if it's already up to Ben, I just want to let everybody know about my event.
Because
more.
I mean, what would be the point of having him on? Because because Damon is not going to be here to defend it. I mean, this is about.
Well, it's not like he's going to bash it. He's just going to talk about the event. It's going to be nothing bad.
I mean, but I mean that's not the point of this particular segment. I mean, the segment is about
Yeah.
slamming Saturday night. So
I mean, we can talk about it.
Right.
Like, we can talk about it personally later. I mean, I'm just like,
Alright.
I just want people to know that there was some good about this weekend, and I'm just really happy with the turnout. Everybody came. I mean, like I said, I mean, it's a little bit arrogant, but I think my event was the best ran event of that weekend, and I'm, happy to say that, thanks to everybody who helped me.
oh, well,
And that's what,
you know what? In talking with people who have ran different events, I hope that continues. But I can guarantee you that it won't. That because you know what, there are so many things outside the control of the event director. And
Yeah,
I mean, DXP helped you run
Work
it. You
being
can
one of
ask him. Not all the ones went smoothly. You're gonna be on the other end of that stick. You're very fortunate because this particular event that happened this past Saturday went off without a hitch, but you shouldn't
Yeah.
expect that to be the norm.
Well, at Web2Zone, we've been trained to do this for I have 3 years of experience. The people that work under me, they have at least a year experience. So, I understand, things happen. Somebody gets mad or whatever. There's always some issues that hold up everybody. But I mean, I can tell you from my experience and my store that, no matter what happens, we're going to be prepared and we're going to make sure everybody just has a great time. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to come here and say every event went perfectly. For Tekken, I kind of I kind of left Chibi out of the bracket accidentally. And I admit that. And, that shows me saying, hey, I'm not going to here brag, but I'm going to show you that I'm humble. I mean, things happen and, there's so many things going on that, some people can't focus and, some things like that happen where a person's left out of the bracket. For me, I had to not only watch everybody upstairs, everybody had like a little wristband, so I had to double check everybody so often, just run a little check, I had to go up to the counter, make sure everybody was like okay over there, I had to talk to my manager, make sure everything was set with him, and then, I basically had to do everything. And, I had 2 people working with me that I had to basically go first, so go for me. So, for me to run that event, and like Tekken, and then go back up and down the stairs was a little bit tough for me. But, we still got through it, and everybody still had a good time, and I'm glad for that. Kyle was even in the tournament, except, he should have did better, but that's another story.
Oh, come on now. I don't even play that game. I honestly stopped playing that game after DR came out, because I have friends of mine who just are too good at that game. I mean, my friend Tim, aka Buddy, if you don't know him, just ask Sanford or Gym Master. He actually won a money match off Gym Master. He can. There's people that are. It's just like Marvel. They're on just a completely different level.
Okay. Well, okay. One thing I wanted to ask though, as far as when is the next one going to be held? Have you
The next one, we don't have a specific date, but we're going to be looking at late July, early August, due to all the big events. We're gonna get something together within the end of the week, but I will guarantee that I will do my best to make sure there are some kind of pop bonuses, there's some sponsored prizes, and there's just things there that people will want to come, like top players will come down for. That's my goal. Like, not only to make to make you pay $2, but you could possibly win twice as 100 times more. That would be something that would make everybody's day. And the venue fee is not that bad. That's what people are telling me. I mean, I'm so used to doing 40% of whatever the entry fee is, because I do Smash tournaments as well. So, for everybody just to say, hey, we'll pay $10, we'll do a $12 tournament, really surprised me. But it really showed that it actually does, the formula does work. And I think it's going to be great. And like I said, we're going to have another event. This is not a Slam Saturday night, but this is an EVO East prep. It's going to be May 19th, and it's going to have every EVO East game as a tournament. And I'm inviting everybody who's here on the radio and everybody on SRK to come down. It's $10 venue, $2 per tournament. We're going to have Guilty Gear players, Third Strike, Marvel, CVS2, Tekken, and Virtual Fighter 5. We're gonna have all these events, and as even on top of that, we're gonna have definitely Melty Blood. We're gonna probably have some Dark Stalkers, if some, because people have been asking me for that, and definitely some Super Turbo. So I want to plug that as well, because I think that's gonna be really good. It's gonna be, like I said, May 19th, week before EVO. I understand that a lot of people are making plans and they can't take 2 weeks off, but I think that this event will be pretty good, and it's gonna be if you come down, come back, or anybody else comes back from SRK, you're going to see the entire upstairs filled. It's going to be upstairs and downstairs. It's going to be, it's going to show you guys what Slammy Saturday Nights 3 will be like. And, I think it's going to be, fun. I think there's going to be... What happened?
I'm completely all for it. I can actually, if you run Smash Brothers, I know a couple of Smash Brothers players. Maybe I can possibly get them to show up for it and show them exactly what WebDesign has to offer in terms of fighting game tournaments.
There's an Empire Kidia Smash Brothers event the next day, so I made a promise to myself I won't include Smash Brothers in that point because they're having their own. So I'll see how that goes. But like I said, I have pretty much the biggest. I also have the big Smash tournaments in these in New York City area as well. So not only to add to these big events that we do for fighting games, you also have the big Smash Brothers events, which are called the ZNIFs, which have the top players from the world the East Coast come by, and we're actually working on trying to get some people from the West Coast to come by too. But I really want to know what everybody thought. I mean, I see some of the posts, everybody had a good time, but I really want a lot of people just to I am right now and tell me, hey, what else do you guys want for the next one? What else do you need? Is there anything else you want? I'll take care of the AC. I'll take care of anything you guys want. I mean, what do the people want? I mean, that's what I'm really here for. That's what I really want.
Only contingency I have is it wasn't so much like the lack of TVs. It's the fact that you had. I mean, I feel bad for the Guilty Gear players because you have one side that had the nice big TVs. And then you got ones that are the 12 inches, and you're asking them to play a tournament on it. And everyone was cool with it, and I was cool with it when we were running HBK.
Hold on for a minute. Tournament held on a 12-inch TV?
They're 15-inch, technically, and they were brought in by the
15-inch TV? How the heck can anyone see anything?
Hey, what I did was I told the person running it was the one who brought them, and I brought a 20-something inch TV. And I was telling them, I actually asked them, "Are you sure you want to do tournaments on this? They're not exactly 28-inch TVs." And they were like, "Oh, let's do it. That's fine. They were actually all for it, which surprised me a lot. Sean, my friend Sean, Shotokan Symphony was just like, "Let's do it." I mean, everybody had a good time. I mean, the small TVs were barely used, thankfully, because I understand when you see a small TV. And you're seeing, and the character's not exactly, taking up the whole screen. You're just looking, squinting, and you're hoping, the person I feel bad for the person who has glasses and they can't see crap. But, but it was really, that's something we actually are going to change. We're going to be working with Rena Center, and we're going to get sponsored by Rena Center and get every TV 27 inches or 27-inch CRTs. That's my goal. And that's going to be something that's going to be the next time on Saturday nights.
Make sure it doesn't have lag.
They're CRTs, they're tubes. How can I,
Tell you what, if I can get a better car, if I can get a better car, I'll bring 2 TVs next time. I'll bring 2 big TVs, and I'll try to get some working PlayStations, especially to play Guilty Gear and stuff. Because, again, I had no problem playing Fist of the North Star on those TVs. Hey, I'm here. I just want to play, but to help out the community, I want to. Everyone's got to be able to see.
As a person who runs these tournaments, I do not like when people aren't happy. I have to make work 100% sure. I mean when I said I'd have 9 TV CRTs, I make sure hook or crook I will have 9 TV CRTs. That was my promise to Phil that I would get those TVs, and we actually bought 2 new TVs for the event, which were about 24, 27-inch TVs, and you can ask anybody at the event. The only HD TV that was used was for Tekken DR, which was on a PS3, which was good, except for the USB connector was a little laggy. And I told them, I'm sorry, because we didn't expect to have the tournament. We were just gonna have a casual for it. Everybody said they were interested, and I asked them, look, the USB might be a little laggy. Are you okay with that? And they're like, oh, that's fine. We don't care. We just want to have fun. I said, okay. We started running it, and that's how that tournament went out, and it went pretty fun. I mean. Yeah, the USB converter was a little bit kind of weird, but for next time I want to definitely work on getting some sticks. I mean, I'm going to talk to Gavin, see what he can do for me, and then we'll just go from there. But like I said, I've done this for a while, and I know that if it's not a PS3 or DOA4, if it's not a PS3 or 360, it should not be on it should not be on HDTV. It should be on CRT, tube television. 27 inch is pretty good. Nobody complains.
But from what FMJ just told me, if if it's like if you're gonna hold it on CRT HD TVs, they will lag still.
No. These are CRT tubes. These are regular TVs. These are not CRT HD TVs.
Oh.
CRT HD TVs are one I had for Tekken. Everything else was a regular tube TV. Nobody said it was lag. The only person who said it was lag was my friend, but he was joking.
Oh, okay.
And I eventually kicked him, but that was another story.
I didn't notice any lag at all. I didn't notice any lag on any other TVs at all. Even for Tekken, I didn't really notice that big of a lag.
Well, the Tekken lag was really from the USB converter. It wasn't really the TV itself. That's what people were telling me. So, like, I'm just gonna go with that. But I'm still gonna make sure that
I got my ass kicked in it. I don't care.
By the way, someone messaged me, says, I'm Alex's coworker. Tell him that if I have to carry like 5 more big ass TVs, I'm not coming. I don't know who that was.
That's my friend Wilson. I gotta give him props for being such a jerk off for that. But no, what happened was we actually had to bring the TVs from downstairs upstairs, and it was kind of an adventure. It was pretty fun. I mean, look, I was so happy.
You know what?
I was
you got a good
screaming.
friend in Wilson because you've been out of fucking luck with me. I'm like, you know what? You better get one of them trolleys out the damn closet and put them on the trolley in there.
No, here's the funny story. We do have a trolley. We do have like a little thing. If you didn't notice, Kyle, there's that little white thing that looked like it was for handicapped people. You know what happened? We used to use that for TVs, but it broke. So it's basically just there, and I feel horrible. I mean, if I could fix it and use it, I would. I mean, again, I give props to everybody who helped me set up before. I give props to everybody who helped me set up breakdown after.
I told them like for $100 I'll do it. $20 a TV. I'm like,
no, it was pretty good.
As you can tell, I'm not a team player when it comes to setting up. You know, I'm setting up. I'm gonna dip out, come back like 30 minutes later, and while the tournament is starting. But okay. As far as this evolution pre-thing, so this is happening on May 19th. Yes. All the games from Evolution East will be there. Now, excuse me, but you know what? If you're gonna have, that means that you're gonna have to have Virtua Fighter 5 there.
We have downstairs. We have 2 LCDs and we have an HD TV. So we already have TVs for them.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully you have enough.
They were running
and
them
you know what?
Saturday.
If it gets really big, then hopefully that you'll see even a bigger turnout that you saw last Saturday.
Well, like a lot of my bosses said, we're doing that as a thank you for everybody coming. Basically, hey, just pay $10. This whole place is yours for upstairs and downstairs for Evo practice. Because I know everybody's going to be wanting to get ready for it. And it's going to be me and Mr. Fantastic, aka Min. DXP is actually going to be practicing really hard, so we're going to be running the event. So I think we'll be fine. I mean, I'll probably be a little nervous because I'll be running around with my head cut off, but I think we'll be fine because we know what we're doing, and I think it's going to be fun. Regardless, I'm going to make sure it's fun, and everybody's going to get what they have. And by the way, if anybody has a PS3 for to bring to this event, PM me or IM me on Light Extreme. On AIM, and I will let you in for free. I'm a firm believer that if you're bringing something that's worth $700+, you should not be paying an extra $10 to come into this event. I actually gave the person who brought a TV and the person who brought a PS3. I think I gave him the money back because I was like, no, here's your money. I don't, it doesn't matter to me. It's fine.
I think I can work that out. I think I can find a way to work
I like that.
out
You want the free entry, don't you?
No. It's not for me. I don't own one, but I know somebody that does, and who's huge into Tekken. My friend Tim, I told you about before. I think if I talk to him and if I can get him out to this, I think he might be able to help you out.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would love to have 2 PS3s, one for VF and one for Tekken. Based on the turnouts, I probably will need one more. I mean, we're gonna make sure we have enough TVs. But everything's gonna be allocated, like it was, and if it runs like we ran it last time, I think it'll be just fine. So I don't think we'll have any problems. I mean, I'm gonna probably have to brush up on my Tekken rules, cause I got a little confused with bump mapping. I admit, I don't know Tekken that well, cause I haven't played it like ever, except for Tekken Tag. But I'm gonna make sure, I know everything when I come into that next time. But no, like I said, if anybody has any questions, call in, comment. I would love to hear more than like comeback talking. That'd be great if I heard more than this kid. I heard him enough. No. But I mean, if anybody has questions, even our lovely host here. I mean, anything you guys want, I'll tell you. We have so much going on lately. It's just like amazing. And like I said, I would love to have some Marvel kids up in here. I want to see that hype. I want to see that energy that I see them on the forums posting.
Have you created a thread on SRK?
We already created a thread for the May 19th event. So if you want to check it out, I'll give you the link.
Yeah, give me the link for that.
I mean, it's just going to be something amazing. And, like I said, I never get hyped. Well, that's a lie. I do get hyped a lot. But I'm the kind of person that, I will work my way to, insanity for people. And for, people who help me, like I said, the Smash people the Smash players saved my job here. I mean, the fighting game people helped me get everything I want. And, now it's all about, paying back these guys for helping everybody. And now it's all about, I'm going to repay everybody by giving them all the money they want for paying little to nothing. And that's my goal. I mean, I want people to make a living off this.
That's a very admirable goal. So just to recap for the people, we got a lot of people listening tonight, which is sounded surprising. So anyway, the bottom line is, by the way, is this actually a tournament as well? I'm just restating it.
The May 19th will have tournaments. It's going to be basically a smaller version of Slammin' Saturday Nights. Well, smaller because, a lot of people are telling me that's, a week before Evo, might not get the number, but that's fine. It's going to be similar to Slammin' Saturday Nights, except we're going to focus on more of the Evo games. We're going to make sure, the Evo games get a lot of, time. We're going to try to do our best. Our goal is to finish the tournaments really quickly so that we can have a lot of casuals. I mean, tournament. So it's going to be a mixture of, a lot of casuals and everything. Also, like I said, Casual Fridays on Web2Zone every Friday. That's where everybody's at. There's Smash tournaments there every Friday. We also have TVs for Evo practice. I suggest everybody come down in May and get their practice there. I want to see my New York people come back up. I mean, we had a little bit of a dip lately. I don't know why. Like I said, might be something that's going on with Nightclan Empire. But you know what? They do them. I'm going to tell everybody, please come to my store, support me. I've supported you guys. I fought for upstairs. I honest to God fought for upstairs. We had to take 40-something PCs apart, put them downstairs, and we had to put them back. I fought hard for just half of it, and they already gave me the whole upstairs and downstairs. So, if you guys can repay me the favor and come down, support Web2Zone, show them that this is the place where fighting game players live in terms of console, and I will guarantee you I will do my best to make sure everybody's happy.
Nice. Well, hey, thanks a lot for coming on and actually telling us about this. I've actually just, let me make sure, check this. Wow, the font is kind of messed up. Okay, I actually put the link on AlphaISM.com to his thread, and hopefully, I wish for bigger and better things for you. I hope the tournament on May 19th, or the event anyway, to be a smoking success. And hey, I'm glad I'm here. I'm really happy to see that a lot of people are taking matters to their own hands and not depending on everybody else to do something they can do themselves. So I'm very happy for you, and I'm really happy that you got you had so many that came out there last Saturday.
Yeah, I just personally want to see more of my New York people come up here and show we have a lot of team hate. These guys are doing well. I'm glad, Nestor comes in and wins a lot. But I want to see my New York kids come up here and, we have we have even more people. And, on a personal note, I would like to thank somebody who helped pretty much put me into the fighting game scene. His name's Philip KO. He brought me into Web2Zone. He got me this job. He gave me the idea for Casual Fridays, and if it wasn't for him, I never would have met DXP. I never would have met Min. I would never have done this. So I want to give 100. Even if he does, I know he's probably not listening, but even if he is, for some miracle, I want to thank him and thank everything he's done for me. He made me into the man I am, and he's basically helped me get this dream across. So everybody out there, you're going to see bigger things from Saturday Nights. New York City will be coming up at console-wise. Come out to Web2Zone, support us. We'll help you guys out. We're open every Monday through Monday through Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays. Come out, support us, web2zone.com, and support me, and come to my thread, look at my threads, look at everything, and I will make sure I'll do everything for you guys.
Alrighty. All right. Well, you know what? Thanks to both of you again for coming on. If you guys want to come on at any later time, preferably I'd like you to come on, the week of the event, just to give a reminder to everybody about it, and give us any updates and everything. And I mean, seriously, I'm very happy for you guys, and I wish you both the best.
I mean, thank you. I mean, and my friend wants me to give him a shout out to himself, so I'll give a shout out to Wilson. But like I said, if you guys have any questions, my store closes at 12. I'm willing to stay on just to relax and chill with you guys if you want. So I'm willing to stay on and answer any questions. If not, I want to talk about Super Turbo HD.
Well, I'm gonna try to
That's
get
gonna
that.
be hot.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can.
I just hope like
Alex.
people IM me and give me questions because that's what I love doing. I love answering questions.
All right. So this segment is done. Let me before Alex is offline. While Alex is offline, Alex Wolf, that is.
Right.
How can I put this? Alrighty, everybody that is listening to my voice, I need you to do me a favor. Please do not ask me why I'm asking you to do this. You're just gonna have to trust me. On AlphaISM.com, there's a link to the forum, and on the very first sentence, I have a link to the forum. I need people to ask me what questions would you like to ask about Super Turbo HD Remix that you would like to see answered. But not only that, you gotta ask a question you think they can answer. So don't be asking, what date it's gonna be coming out, because obviously that has not been announced yet. They probably won't know. All right, but ask questions in a way where you think they can answer, or at least give you an idea of what they're thinking about. Don't be asking what's all going to be included in addition to the Super Turbo, arcade mode. Okay, so I need everyone to go on not on SRK. I need you to go on to AlphaISM.com forum, and then on the forum, if you scroll down, if you click on the link, it's going to take you to the radio thread. But I actually don't want you to post it there. Just go up one level to AlphaISM Radio, and there's a thread there called Your Thoughts. I want you to put your thoughts on there. Yes, for those of you who haven't registered, you're going to have to register and do it. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Go ahead and register. All you need is a valid email address, and it takes only like 3 minutes. And I will appreciate, please do not ask me why I'm asking you to do this. You're just going to have to trust me.
Alright, where am I going again?
AlphaISM.com, and if you click the forum link, which is in the very first sentence,
Okay.
it brings you to the radio thread, but that's not where I want you to post it. If you go up one level, there's a thread, because AlphaISM Radio basically has its own subsection, or it has its very own section. So just there's a thread called Your Thoughts, and then just post it there. And
Right.
and remember, I don't care how many questions you submit. But again, don't be asking something you know they can't answer. All right. So that's just, and I'll tell you, I am going to choose which ones that I would use. All right. I can't say much more than that. So we'll see how it goes.
There's so much things about Super Turbo HD that I want to know. One thing is, I hope it's compatible with the DOA 4 stick, so that we can actually use a stick for it. Or if somebody made a mod for a stick, that'd be great. I think it's one thing to play it on a pad. It's one thing to play it on the 360 pad.
So you okay? Now that is a question I think you guys can ask, because I think that's a question that I think they can answer. If they can't answer definitively, even if they can't answer, you can also suggest the idea. You know what I'm saying? I already have a thread on Capcom's site, but this is just a little bit different, because there I'm asking you for suggestions. Here I'm asking for questions, so it's a little bit different. So I need those questions. I need those questions ASAP. I don't need them in a week. I need them now. All right. Um, let me say this much. I am very happy with where the radio is right now. I am very happy with the amount of exposure the radio has gotten. And frankly, for something that has ran out of my home, I am shocked at who actually listens to the radio. Because I just didn't think it would go that far. I mean, I am very happy, and I could tell you that that you could probably expect some very cool things to come up in the future, you know. And I mean, all I can say is I am very happy, and I think you guys are going to be happy once you see things come to fruition. I don't want to give specifics or anything like that, you know, because I don't want to particularly or to just try to jeopardize what's probably going to be happening. But from what I know so far, hold on, what the heck?
I mean, you're doing your thing, man. And like ever since I first started listening to you at Evo, it was just like it meant something. And when I called in that second time, you know, I give you props for every IM you took from me and all my little like craziness, because I'm like a little nut online. But you know, I gotta give you 100% credit that you really, you know, I went on your show out of like, you know, just to tell everybody what I'm doing here. And I'm glad that, you know, you're doing your thing. And whatever it is, I know it's going to be great, because, you know, the bigger you get, man, the better things get, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I liked about the radio, people always ask me what I like best about the radio. And it really isn't hearing myself talk, you know. What I like about the radio is that since I've done the radio, I have met so many cool people, you know. I mean, because of the radio, I'm going to be, you know, I was like, I'm going to get a chance to meet and play with people that normally, in the normal scheme of things, you really wouldn't. I mean, I don't even know how to play Marvel. You can ask Chunkster. I don't know how to play Marvel. I mean, I know some things, you know. I know how the game like operates, but I can't even say I'm a scrub, you know. But it's one of those things where, you know, it's because you're cool with some people. They're like, hey man, you know, I play you in Marvel, you know. I mean, I don't mean to act like I'm starstruck, but at the same time, it's just like me doing the radio for, let's say, the NBA, and then, you know, just have like what's his face, Kobe, come up and say, hey man, you want to shoot some hoops? I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, I'm only 5'8". I'm like, I can't even reach above your head. You know, what the hell am I gonna do? So I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's one of the things that I like about the radio. It's pretty cool.
Here's a funny story. Like, I totally agree with you. I remember I heard about Justin all this time, right? And I remember the first time I met him was at Web 2 Zone when he was on the computer, and he was with this guy. I forget what his name was. But his name was Benjamin Patience, aka like something P or something. But I walk over there, I'm like, is that Justin Wong? Like, cause I've seen a picture of this kid, and I walk over, I was like, hey, you know, my name is Alex, you know. I just walked over, I was like, just curious, cause he looked so familiar. And I was like, hey, what's your name? He's like, Justin. And I'm like, oh, Justin. And I'm like, wait a minute, can't be. And I'm like, oh, what's your last name? He's like, Wong. And I'm like, wait a minute, do you play other video games? Like, yeah, I'm a little good. And you know how Justin is. He's like, nah. And I'm like, well, you know, do you play Marvel? And he's like, all right, yes, I'm Justin Wong, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I'm like, wow, you're Justin Wong. And be in mind, I've seen videos of him. I've never seen him play this game. And I used to be a big Marvel hater. But now I'm like, you know, I watch this kid play, I watch the competitive, like, how these guys play, and it's just like, oh my god. You know, cause like, yeah, you can argue the game is a little bit like, it may be like a little bit like, broken, dollar or whatever you want to say. But, you know, these guys have these strategies to play each other that, you know, really makes the game better. I mean, I'm watching this kid play at NEC, which is the first ever big tournament fighting game tournament I went to, and I'm seeing him just like this, boom, 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 and I'm just watching him doing amazing things, and I'm just like, you know what, I'll never hate on Marvel again. And that's where I met Sanford, that's when I met a lot of these people. Oh, Benjamin Patience is PSI, okay, sorry. But, you know, you meet these kids and you're just like, holy crap. I remember, there was something that really shocked me about that Saturday was that KO Fiend came by. And KO Fiend even said this was a great event. And, that means a lot.
KO Fiend is still alive? I haven't heard from that dude in forever.
KO Fiend came to Slam and Saturday Night and he took people's money. That's what he did.
KO Fiend might, you know what, KO Fiend, he might prove that you actually can die from smoking too much weed. I mean, seriously, dude. As many times he has come on the radio stoned out of his freaking mind. I mean, that dude is probably going to prove that you probably can die from smoking too much weed. But go ahead.
No, but I remember, I saw this kid, I'm like, yo, KO Fiend's here? And I'm expecting this, I'm like, it's probably like, some random dude. I'm like, KO Fiend's this Asian. I see him outside, he's smoking. He's like, so you're Alex Strife, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're pretty good. You ran a good event, man. You ran a good event. And this is regular smoking. It's not weed, because at our store we don't allow that. But somebody was blazed that day. I smelled it. Kyle smelled it too. It was like,
Yeah.
And it was pretty funny. But he's like, and he's talking to me. He's like, yo, you're doing a good event. You should do this every time. Blah blah blah. Everybody's gonna come out now. You're known now. Everybody knows you. Everybody knows you. And I'm like, I wish everybody knew me. I wish somebody can come up to me and say, Alex, I want you to do an event for me. The only people to do that is my boss.
By the way, before I have to correct something. People, these questions are not for Alex Wolf. I can tell you that right now. This is not who I'm not going to be asking these to Alex Wolf. All right? Alex Wolf will not be able to answer these questions. So this is asking questions that you would like to, in general, that you would like to see answered in case if anyone was able to actually give you the answers, that will be the case. So, all right. So I just wanted to make sure that we all okay on that. All right, go ahead.
Well, another thing is this. Web2 Zone, a lot of people don't know this, but, I'm going to let everybody know that, Shag had his VF caps here. For a good long time, he had his VF caps here. So, for them, Web2 Zone to do that, it means a lot. But, when I come see all these guys and they're telling me, yo, great event, and I'm of course, I'm doing my infamous Gym Master impression when I go, woo, woo, because I'm screaming like a wild nut job going, woo, yeah, baby, yeah. Because it's like, you get so happy when, everything goes perfect. I had a bad Friday, but like this Saturday was amazing. It was so hot and amazing. That's the best way to describe it. And, again, it all goes to like the promotion that we did, all the hard work we did, all the preparation, like there's another thing. There were Guilty Gear 3v3 teams. We had 10. Supposedly, that's one of the biggest turnout for 3v3 Guilty Gear teams, which I'm like, if that's really good. So I want to say that was pretty good too.
I got a quick question for you. How come we didn't run any other team games besides Guilty Gear? Guilty Gear, that was probably the best team turnout that I've ever seen. But how come there was no Third Strike teams or Marvel? Well, I mean Marvel has a small turnout, but
had 10 people. Yeah. But I think what it was I think what happened was I told DSP, look, they had it from this time to this time. We actually ended a half hour early. And I told, when I told you guys when you wanted to run your side tournament, look, at a certain time, I don't want tournaments at all because I don't want people here till to the middle of the night, because after a while you're playing games, because I used to play competitive Halo. So I learned one thing. A lot of tournaments, certain types of tournaments are endurances. You're just playing, you're getting tired, you're drinking Red Bulls, whatever. What I want this event to be is everybody has a good time and everybody's still fresh afterwards. I mean, after a while, I'm probably going to have this be a 2-day event if it really gets that big, and it's, maybe the next 2 or 3 Slam and Saturdays, we'll see how it goes. But, I think that, a lot of people preferred the 1v1, and, I think we said the 2v2, the teams were optional, and, when he was telling me, he's like, yeah, what do you think? And I'm like, well, we do start it, it's going to take a pretty long time if we do single limb, and that's a bad idea to ever do single limb, but, depending on the type of tournament, but, I really want to do it just because I think it'll be great to get some practice in for SBO, or even just, to, have that feeling of SBO in general. But I don't want to do it at the expense of the players being really tired and I don't want people to like get tired and just like doze off. I remember when I had Smash. There was a Smash tournament here when Deadly Alliance first came here. Before they got kicked out. They when they did tournaments, you saw people passed out, and these are the people that are usually the best players, and they're just like, forget it, here, win. I don't want that. I want people to come in and have a great time, and as soon as they get home, they're like, oh, I'm still hyped up. I want to go drinking or like go whatever. That's what I love about what I do.
Right.
No. Okay. All right. There is a problem. Okay, for those of you who are registering with Comcast email addresses, Comcast is rejecting the emails that the forum sends to you for you to activate your account. I know why it's rejecting it, and I fixed it, but the fix takes 24 hours to actually hit the place. So if you're using Comcast email, you have to use something else in the meanwhile.
Yeah.
So, sorry about that, people. It's sort of my fault, and it sort of isn't. I didn't know that they were being that picky, but it's a long-winded explanation. All right, Alex Wolf. I am looking so forward to talking to him. He is not on AIM, and I don't.
Come on, man. We gotta rush this guy down. We gotta rush him.
You know what? I'm looking because I really did think, I thought that he gave. You know what? Actually, if anyone out there that's listening right now, if you know Alex Wolf for sale, or even Graham, if you know Graham Sale, hit me up because I would like to know.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the most biggest fighting game news since Third Strike was playable on Xbox 360. This is Super Turbo.
Yeah,
I mean, if this this is how it works. I'm going to explain a lot of things. Oh, by the way, come back. I am me later on tonight because I want your aim. But this is how sponsors work. Sponsors love new things. If you get a game like Super Turbo, for example, on a new system, people will sponsor that because they want to see something new. They want to see something fresh. That's why a lot of money was put into DOA 4 was because it was one of the only competitive, if not the only competitive game at the time for Xbox 360. That's why despite how many problems Gears of War is having competitively, people are throwing money at it, and that's why Evo picked up VF5. What's up?
I can vouch for the Gears of War thing. My buddy's he's a manager for the #1 team in the U.S. right now.
Yeah, that's High Distortion's team, High Cancel. I know.
Yeah, well, no, that's not High Distortion's team, but he's not on the team.
Oh yeah, they booted him or something. I forget. But no, I know some of those kids from High Council. They're pretty good.
Yeah, no, I met most of them. One of them lives around here in Philly. Like I said, my buddy's the manager of the team, and they were over his house because I'm spending the couple of weeks with them, and they were up here the one night and they were playing Fight Night and on all those different games.
Yeah, there's a really tall one who wanted to play Fight Night, right?
All right.
Yeah.
You guys are kind of having a conversation.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry about that.
With sponsors, they like two things. They like things that go online. They like things that look pretty.
Hello. I got to move on.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know. My fault.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just wanted to address some questions. I'm reading some comments on here about the questions. I mean, some of you guys are asking. Will the newly remade pixels affect the hitboxes on characters' moves? That is an excellent question. Yeah. I could tell you, though, that that isn't the type of question I'm looking for, although that's an excellent question, because I'm not sure if that's a question that will be able to be answered by someone, unless they work in actually as the developer is actually. But it says, will it make them bigger, make the characters more balanced? Well, they're not going to change the gameplay. That much is clear. But will there be a range mode? We don't know that. So all of the question is, with all the glitches that are in Super Turbo, will they be in effect in this game? I have no idea. I'm not sure that question could be answered either. But The complete remix of the Street Fighter soundtrack. Good question, and that is a question I will be considering asking. All right. Would it be
What about the,
rebalance of the
background?
cast? Again, that goes back to. I will. You know what the thing about it is that maybe that's a question that I can reword and ask, and I'll see where I get that. The gameplay though, as it stands right now, was being announced. The arcade is going to be based 100% based on the arcade version of Super Turbo. Will there be other modes added? Like an arrange mode? I don't know. So,
As long as
we will
there's
see.
no parrying at it.
So we'll see. We'll see how that.
Any word on Alex Wolf or the other guy?
I mean, I haven't. I mean, you know what? I don't have his number, and he's really good about calling in. So I'm wondering if he could. He works in the corporate world, so he has meetings and stuff and so forth, and maybe something happened. Hold on, I'm still
Who has
looking.
a meeting at 11:30 at night, though?
Well, remember, he might be on West Coast time, so it's about like 10.
He is on West
not about
Coast.
7.
West Coast time. Never mind then.
Yeah, that's why when DSP told me, hey, I'm like, oh, 7 o'clock, awesome. He's like, no, it's 10 o'clock. I'm like, wait, why? He's like, because you're on the West Coast. I'm like, no. I'm like all sad and like, crap, I have to be here. Like, I love this, I really, I'm glad I came on, but like, it's pouring out and it's like thunder and I'm like scared of leaving this
That's
store.
why I'm in a house on the phone.
Hey, it's easier, I go to my store, I get to do whatever I want for free. So it's like, it's kind of kick ass. But, yeah, it's pretty good, So, I think, one of the things I would like to know about Super Turbo, besides the stick issue, is really, I don't know, like, I'll be honest, I don't know, like, what Alex Wolf does, I don't know what kind of questions he would like to ask, but I would like to know, I think it was asked on the forums, was the color change mode, like, because I think that would be pretty good, because it really...
That was one of the suggestions I had when about color edit mode, because after all, these are going to be redrawn, and the graphics are going to be completely redrawn, and this would be a good way of showing off, HD graphics is by being able to customize them. And I went so far as to saying that the color edit mode can include like fireballs. If I have a blue thing going with Zangief, instead of it being green, his backhand thing, instead of being green, it'd be blue too. So
Yeah.
but some of the ideas that I hear for Super Turbo, I mean, in a thread, I said that I only wanted that for 3 suggestions, and I mean, just think about it. If you could only ask for 3 things, I don't know if re-recording the voices is so important to be included on that list.
I mean, the only thing I had a problem with was when I play AE, it's like there's one version of Guile that sounds not exactly masculine, so I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, it
specific
sounds
one.
like a fucking girl.
I mean, but just still, though, I mean, if you have to remember that they're going to have a limited amount of time and resources, do you really want them to focus on re-recording the voices rather than spending time doing something else that be more
No, I say, hey, just port over the voices, just not that specific Guile, because that sounds really girly. I mean, they just take the voices they took from AE and put it right there. There you go. I mean, the importance of color editing would make the game significantly better. Because imagine, just from a competitive standpoint, you're like, oh, this is this guy. He uses he's famous for this color Ryu or this color Bison or whatever. That makes it much better than saying, oh, he's playing Ryu. That's what makes what you call it. There's a couple of games that do customization. That's what the people are known for. Mainly like CS or whatever, like with name tags. But color is the most important thing. People want to have like their own person.
Well, I was just thinking though, since they're redrawing them from scratch anyway, I was just saying is why not do like Virtua Fighter where there's accessories, for their clothes, and again, this may fall under the category of being too far fetched, but since they're drawing them anyway, why not draw them with and without clothes? With I mean, they don't have to get like really, really, really technical with it. I mean, it could be just so much as with Ryu. Maybe Ryu is wearing jeans and a T-shirt in one, and his G in another one. He's not in his Chi outfit all the time. At least I hope not. So I mean, like there's like this. I saw a picture with Ryu, Guy, and Ken. They were like out and about in town, and it was a pretty cool picture. And I'm like, and that's what I mean. And they weren't dressed, they weren't wearing all their outfits that you see in the game. They were wearing different outfits, So maybe I thought that this might be a cool thing you might want to think about, and and we'll see. Even since it's HD, they can go so far as like Ken's hair. Maybe if I want Ken's hair to be red, part white. Seriously, if you really want to think about it, they can get really hog wild crazy on it, and and all these characters will look literally different night and day. And but most importantly, the most important part of that is make sure it's able to be played online. Because that's the whole. What would be the point of creating one if you can't show it off? So I would love for that. I think that would be a really cool idea. Plus, if anything, remember in that post I said you want to suggest things that both novice and experienced players can both appreciate.
I think the online aspect, like I said, I'm thinking from a competitive standpoint. If they did that, they added online, I can tell you flat out, I can get you a couple $1,000 tournament off the top of the bat, just easily. Sponsors. That's how easy it is.
And one of my ideas was actually, this is one of my other ideas, and people thought that it's kind of frivolous, but I don't think so. But I was thinking that the ability to create a LAN with this game would be kind of cool.
Actually, there's a couple of tricks to do that as well. You're talking about having the Jap cabs that have back to back, right?
No, I just mean if you let's say you're holding a really really big ST HD tournament, and you have 10 Xbox 360s, you can arrange it where that you can put them all in one network, which means that they don't necessarily have to be sitting at the same cabinet at the same table, or you leaving it in the same room.
Right.
And they could be able to, to play against each other, and plus you can, this is a part of my thing. Online tournaments, they can create, whoever is creating it, they can create brackets. They can make best out of, 3, 5, 7, 9, how many more, single or double elimination, all the fancy, little options you have with doing tournaments, buys, whatnot, and you can let the computer automate all of that. And I think for tournament directors, that'd be that would be that'd be heaven sent.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Another thing to add to that is, one of the things we could do is, we can do online. When you do not even just online, when you do LAN, like I was thinking, what I was first thinking was, to Jap cabs. With DOA 4, I can literally set it up so you can have, in DOA 4 and Virtual Fighter, I can set it up where I have 2 high-definition HD CRT monitors, like the PC monitors we have, and they basically go back-to-back, and it's be a cab. Part of the, the thing that people, a lot of people when they first play a video game, like a fighting game on a console, don't realize is that, way back when, these were on arcades, and that's what made it great. For the people that remember it. That experience is so fun. And if you can, even a little bit, recreate that experience, you're talking about creating a whole new, set group of people. Instead of creating people to just play console or people to just play, arcade, you're creating people that play both and feel comfortable with that setting. And I think that would be something, that's something worth working towards. And that's something that's worth putting together. I don't want to have people playing on a PS2. I want people to be like, oh my god, this is great. Everyone has a fun. That's what, I hope they put in the Super Turbo HD.
Okay, there's something, someone else mentioned that they wanted a player record mode. I'm going to be mentioning that. Don't worry about it. That. Is going to be, because that is it could be very, very, very versatile as what you can do with that. A player record mode, great, because then you don't have to worry about, oh man, you know how much of a pain it is, especially if it's an Xbox 360 though, because if they allow that play record mode to be connected to your PC and you can just put it up on your PC, that bypasses all about the video capturing and all that good stuff, So the player record mode would be something that I think that will be pretty cool. You
No,
know.
it'll be something that will really, like, I can see it as something like it helps brings everybody together. Like, it's like, oh, combovideos.com would be flooded probably with HD videos. Like, if they have something that easy to use. But I also see, even for, tournament organizers, we can use it as record matches and put them up on videos instantly. I mean, one of the main problems, I see with games like, Melty Blood, Guilty Gear, like Third Strike, whatever, it's just, they're on PS2, and in order to really hold it, you either need a memory card and replay it, or you're gonna need a PC. You have to do all this technical stuff that takes a little bit too long if you don't know what you're doing. But if you can have something that's easy as you save it on your hard drive in your 360, and since your 360 can hook up to your PC, you can port it over to your PC as a like a Windows Media Player file. I mean, that makes everybody's life easy. That's all you have to save it as. Obviously Microsoft would benefit because you're using their technology, and also everybody benefits because they get their videos in 10 seconds. That's what would make it great.
I got a question from a fan base. What about now? ST was the first appearance of Akuma. Do you need to go through that whole bullshit process of I need to hold the cursor on 3 seconds for
You know what the thing about it though is, I mean,
Akuma was way too broken in that game. I don't think he should be
you know what
allowed.
the thing about though is.
Yeah, but it's just for fun though.
But you know what? I don't. You know what? For the serious player out there, they're not going to use Akuma anyway because they know that's not going to be allowed in any tournament. And for all the new people that will be playing it, let them play Akuma. I mean that's fine, But when they want to get serious about the game, when they want to go to offline tournaments, then they have to learn that character is not allowed. But hey, I don't want to stop people from playing the game, in any sort of way. If Akuma is playable,
I play the game both ways. Like I'm just saying from the average person they'll watch combo videos. Combo videos has Akuma on there. Like if you watch any of the NKI videos, he's on there at least 2 or 3 of the videos at the end doing ridiculous combos. Like he's just a fun character to mess around with. I'm not saying let's make him tournament legal because God knows he's too broken.
I've seen things with Akuma and Super Turbo that I don't think I ever want to see. I mean, it's worse than Hakuna no Ken, no offense, but it's this crap.
I don't doubt that.
No, Hakuna no Ken has 100 low kick using a low kick to get a 100-hit combo, but that's something else. But no, in terms of Super Turbo and Akuma, I think it would be easier just to make him playable. I mean, the only catch I see with it is this: if you have him in there, and you have if you have online ranked, it's gonna cause a whole mess because everybody's gonna pick Akuma just to have a high rank. That's
you know what I mean. You know what the thing about it is, Akuma might be broken, but but choosing the character alone will not make you a god in Super Turbo.
No, I mean if you know how to use him,
so I mean you could play Akuma. I mean I'm sure that if I play Akuma and Alex Valle plays for you, he's still gonna kick my behind.
There's videos of Japanese tournaments where people are using Akuma. Like before he got completely banned, I watched videos of where people are using him and he's still losing. He's not an unbeatable character. It's just when you can combo his fireballs like that in the air and on the ground, it's too cheap.
Well, I just I just hope this is one thing that actually does concern me was the ranking. Are they going to have ranked? Is your rank going to be? Are you going to have a rank for Super Turbo when you go online? Are they going to make it free play? I personally think they should just make it free. There's no ranked, because when you get ranked, you're going to get people who are going to cheat, whether they're going to use Akuma, whether they're going to use standby, lag, any type of thing like that. I think it's going to cause a little bit of a problem. That's just from my personal standpoint and from my experience. When Halo 2 had ranked, it was when it first came out, everybody was cheating like crazy. It was like a cheat fest. And Gears of War, it's just as bad. It's just that nobody's really saying anything about it. I mean, and that's why, with Smash Brothers Brawl, when it goes online, there's not going to be any rank, so it might be more pure. So really, it's a decision on the people's part. Do they want to have it ranked? And if they do, are they ready for, what can possibly happen? Or are they going to have it unranked and just let everybody have a good time, and then, that way, it's like the best players play, play random scrubs, because that's another thing with ranked. If you have a ranked, and you have it like matchmaking, you play on the same level, it makes it even. But if you don't have a rank, that's another thing. So really, they gotta look at like how the online's gonna work and how everything's gonna work, because that's just how how a lot of these online games go, just from my experience.
That's fine. I mean, I really don't mind, because you know what the thing about it is, I don't care who you choose as your character. I mean, if you don't know how to play, and a better person comes along, they're gonna still beat you behind. So I don't know if it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, but remember, we're thinking of like the competitors. Think of a casual player. Do you want to come in there and play somebody, like, do you want to start off with the same rank and build it? Or do you just want to, like, immediately play Alex Valle? That's what it means. Like, when you look at casual players, they want to have something where they want to have fun, but they don't want to get their ass kicked all the time. When I go and play DOA 4, I went straight in and got my ass kicked. I went from a C plus to an F. I had to work my way back up to a C. And I can tell you from experience, that was not exactly a fun experience. Yeah, I was playing with, like, the top players from the world, but, like, and my rank got screwed. But I think I'm still, like, how they're setting up the matchmaking is really important to how, like, the game is going to be seen. I mean, I know people who cheated on Third Strike on Xbox just to have a rank. I mean, it's not that serious, but, like, people have that mentality where if they feel better about themselves, that they have something. They're good at something. That's a lot of Halo.
I don't doubt that at all. I mean, I'm just saying that, it's one of those things where, hey, if someone grabs a character and they want to choose the easy path, as I call it, and they want to use a character that's that has an advantage, it's a very advantage. But you know what? At a certain point, though, they may win in the beginning. They may beat up, and that's fine though, because that builds their confidence. But but soon enough, they're going to start bumping up against people that really know how to play the game, and playing Akuma is not so much an advantage, and then you're going to have to learn how to play the game.
It's not okay. The thing is, what I'm talking about, like, I understand that, but like, you gotta look at another thing. If it's ranked, it's there's more than just picking a character, that broken Akuma, the broken character, quote unquote, of Super Turbo. There's people who have modems and will stand by you for a rank. That's what I'm talking about. That's what happened with Halo. There was standby, there was modding, there was hacking, there were all these things, and it destroyed the rankings for a good knows how long. And they had to reset everything. I think they reset it a third time.
Well, if someone wants to cheat, they're going to cheat. I mean, you can do what you can to prevent it and to minimize it, but if someone wants to cheat, they'll find some way to cheat. That's just how it is.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
but like,
that's how the world works. That's just how the fighting game world works. If there's a way to cheat, certain people will take that advantage and do it.
And it's not like that, and it's just one of those things where, we'll see. We'll see how closely they're monitoring it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I hope everything goes out well, but sometimes it's not. Speaking of like time, how long are you guys going to be on the radio for? Out of curiosity.
Well, I don't know, because since I can't get a hold of Alex Wolf, I'm probably going to end it. I'm going to end it here pretty soon. So and we'll just try to do this another time. But actually, before I do that, I want to talk about some other topics as well. Thank you guys for those of you who have participated by asking questions. For those of you who are just joining us, I'm asking you to go to AlphaISM.com, and in the little note I wrote about today's show, there's a link to the forum. There's a link to the thread. Go up one. Just click on the AlphaISM Radio. And there's a subsection there, and then there's a thread called Your Thoughts. And I would like to know, what questions would you like to ask regarding Super Turbo, HD Remix. Mind you, don't try to ask questions that are really, really, really technical. Try to ask questions that are relevant, obviously, but something that that could be answered by someone who's not exactly involved on the hands-on working on the game. So that's what I'm asking from you guys. And again, I can't tell you why I want these questions, but I can tell you that you're just going to have to trust me on this.
Well, I hope it comes soon because in about like 7 minutes my store's closing. So I'm gonna, they're gonna. I would have had more. I would stay more, but I want to go home, and I'm actually gonna go home, and if it's still on, I'm actually gonna come back on because
Okay.
I just think it's just fun to hang out and chill. Besides, I have no life, so it's like, it's either, it's like it's fun because from my aspect, it's like I do video game tournaments for a living, and eventually they're gonna start sending me out to Korea and Japan and all this stuff. So it's like, oh my god, like, but like I said, in about like 2 or 3 more minutes, I'm gonna head out and say my goodbyes, and I'll probably come back if we're still on, because I really want to talk about Super Turbo. That's like, I was like, I want to talk about Super Turbo. I want to talk to this guy. I want to know everything he knows, because that's something I really look forward to today. Yeah, and my event, but who cares about me right now? I mean, I think it's gonna be, I think he's just probably running late. If, like I said, like he said, if anybody knows where he lives, just call him and say, hey, get on AlphaISM. We want to know. The fans want to know what's going on.
Okay. Moving on for a bit. Someone was asking me what on the thread on the AlphaISM Radio thread. I said that um, that Dark Prince is banned from the radio, and people ask why is that? Because I thought what he did to Duck was inexcusable.
What'd he do?
Yes, I do believe, 100% believe that he did this. He keyed Duck's car, wrote "fuck" on the hood, and put sugar water in his gas tank.
All right, well,
Sugar water in his gas tank, and so basically, it can ruin the engine. So,
that's some serious perp stuff right there. That's some perp shit right there, man. That's messed up.
The thing about it is that no matter how, even if I was Duck's worst enemy, I wouldn't pull that on him. I mean, this is a guy that's married with 4 kids, and I don't need to be straining him by messing up his car. I thought that was I thought that was an incredibly, how can I put this? It was definitely uncalled for, and based on all the things I've heard about Dark Prince and all the things that he's said and he has done, I have no reason not to believe that he did do this. I mean, Duck was at My Chaos's house, and you're telling me that someone else is going to tell Duck from his house to My Chaos house? How would they know that he was at My Chaos's house? He was there for a few hours while they were playing Marvel, and we do know that he did call during that night while Duck was over there. I mean, there's no other. I mean, I know it's circumstantial evidence, but at the same time, though, I have a hard time believing that someone came by, saw Duck's car, went all the way back home, then grabbed some sugar water and came back all the way back out there to My Chaos's house to put it in. I'm sorry, I don't believe that. I mean, as I understood it, Dark Prince only lives 10 minutes from, My Chaos's house. I think he came by and saw that Duck was there and decided to take out a little revenge on him. And,
well, stuff like that really saddens me because it just shows like how some people's mentality are. I mean, like I said, I know a lot of people, and those are things that I like. Those are people I call perps, and I think they should know respect. Like you said, Duck has like what, 4 kids? I mean, come on, a video game. Yes, I understand the competitiveness. I've seen people like have a fight over Counter-Strike, and some person got his head busted. But still, that's a video game is a video game, and the best thing about it is like it's like the idea of the Klingons. You battle, and then you come home the next day and you're fine. But that it really saddens me, to hear that. And I hope that Duck, somebody gets arrested for it, or whatever the legal actions are.
I mean, there's not a whole lot that can be done because there was no witness to the crime, And so I was incredibly. I mean, I mean, the thing about it is that it's just totally uncalled for. It is totally uncalled for.
I totally agree. But
so I mean, that's how I feel about that, and I just wanted to clear that up because a couple of people were asking me on there.
But listen, I'm gonna be heading home now. I'm in Manhattan right now. I'm heading to the Bronx, which is about like 45-minute trip. But if you guys are still on, I'll check out AlphaISM Radio. If you guys are still on, I'll call back in with Skype, and I enjoy myself, so I'll be back. So if you guys are still here, I'll be here. I'll be willing to come back on.
Okay.
I'm actually getting off right now too. Real quick, Alex, what's your phone screen name?
Okay, for anybody who wants to know, I don't mind aiming people. I love when people call, and this is like, something I want to say. My aim is light, like the light bulb, the letter X, and then dream, like, I dream, sleep. But it's also on my SRK name, which is Alex Strife. And, again, if anybody wants to contact me, anybody wants an event done for fighting games, I'll do it. I have no problem helping out people. And, also on a personal note, Justin, give me a call. If you don't know my cell, I am me. I want to talk to you about we get some Marvel heads up here because I really want to see the Marvel kids come on strong and the Tekken kids. But again, thank you guys for having me. If you guys are, if I call back in and you guys are not there, that's fine. But if you guys are, I'll definitely be coming back. All right.
All right, man. Well, you take it easy, both of you.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having me.
All right, later.
All right.
Thanks
Bye.
a lot. Later.
All right. So again, thanks to Alex Strife for coming on and telling us about the Slamming Saturday. Looked like it was an incredibly successful event, and I wish him best. I wish him the best for the future. Sounds like something special is starting to brew there. All right. I apologize because I thought I can get let me see if I can get someone else to substitute for. Give me a couple of seconds, folks. For those of you, I am trying to see if I can get someone else on here. I just saw that, he's on AIM, and let me see if I can get this particular person on the radio. So, oh, someone asked me an interesting question. Would I like to do this for a living? Yes, I would like to do this for a living. Doing the radio for a living would be a pretty cool job. Because you know what? Every time I go to work, I turn on the radio and I listen to radio hosts who get paid buckloads of money to basically BS all day. Not all day, for 3 hours a day. Come on. That's a cool job to have. To come on and get paid for giving your opinion. So yeah, I would like to do it, but it has to be under the right circumstances, and I think that day is coming. I think there will be a day coming where maybe I can do this on a more frequent basis. I am very happy with, like I said before, what has happened with the radio to date. So I think that I have a lot to be happy for, and I think a lot of things that you guys are going to like. So we'll see what happens. Oh man, I'm asking. And then there's someone else I want to get on the radio. Hold on, let me see. See if I can get this particular individual on the phone. But letting you know, guys, that I am reading your comments. Some of the more interesting ideas. You know what? I've seen at least 3 different posts with that refers to Virtua Fighter. And I don't think that's a a coincidence. Virtua Fighter is a very complete fighting game. So training mode with match tutorial videos. I suggested that. I said that that the tutorial videos that Serlin have made for Super Turbo on Capcom Collections Classics 2 should be updated for Super Trouble HD Remix, and I actually think that will be done. I think that there is no reason why that won't be done, um, or at least if it can't, if it, to be available as a download. Um, in fact, I would not mind if they do a more in-depth strategy for, um, like for example, I had this idea before, and let me know what you guys think of this idea. If you guys remember, if you were listening way back when I first started doing the show, Alex had an idea about commentating on matches. He can watch matches, he can commentate, and then people will learn. And I actually think now that Super Turbo is going to be available online, this might be a great idea for for your novice players and experienced players. I mean, everyone can benefit from a second pair of eyes, telling you what to do, what not to do, and everything. And I wish this wasn't just a game that they were just releasing as a download. I wish that this game would be consistently improved on. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see a Street Fighter 4, but this to me works just as well. You know what I'm saying? Street Fighter 4, you're not sure what kind of game that's going to be out. What kind of game that's going to be. And if I was in charge of Capcom, if I had a choice, and I haven't released a new Street Fighter game in several years, if I had a choice between remaking an established game or doing a completely new game, I'd do the remake. Strictly from a financial point of view, you know that the game has appeal, and you know that the game is solid. So why not start with that? Especially when you're talking about investing money into R&D and development and distribution and all that stuff. So I just hope what I hope most out of everything. I hope that when they release the game, that won't be it to it. I hope that they will periodically add things. Perhaps they can take some of the ideas that they can't implement. They go ahead and implement those, but the great ideas that probably won't have the time to do, maybe they can gauge the reaction. And if the reaction is great and everything is going great, then they can start adding things to keep interest, to drive interest. And that's what I ultimately hope to see from this project. But you know what? Okay. I didn't realize Alex was listening. He said he tried it on CBS 2 commentary for Xbox Live. Due to lag, it's not practical. Well, I was thinking one of those things where maybe one of those things where it may be not actually during the match, but after the match is through or after the round is through, the players can hit pause and he can go, okay, player one, this is what you did correctly. This is what I like. To me, whenever you're coaching someone, you always want to start with something positive and end with something positive, and the constructive criticism comes in the middle. Believe it or not, people are very sensitive, even adults. And so when I do coaching at work, I always start with something positive, end with something positive, and then go from there. So you can start with something positive. Hey, I like you that you did this. I like you that you were able to execute this. What I will work on is maybe do this or maybe not do this, and wait until you do this. Whatever you see, it's like, but hey, I think you're on the right path. I think if you say, hey, keep practicing, you're gonna be pretty good. Something like that, giving you a basic idea, and then you just go to player two. This is what I like. This is what I like what you did. This is what I will improve upon. But again, so this is just an idea that I've been basically bouncing around in my head. Yeah, doing online play. That's right. I mean, it could be something even official. It could be something official that because they could do this with Alex. They could do this with they can do this with Alex Valle and Alex Wolf and Graham Wolf. And, all the people, all the best American players, they can do this with, because they will have um, they would have the credibility, to substantiate what they suggest, and so since these people have won these world tournaments, obviously they're doing something right. Hey, you know what? Think about it is, people like Alex, they could even do it on a per pay basis. They can actually pay people, and nothing extremely expensive, but basically pay for their time. Um, that's just an idea. But see, this is all. See, the thing about this. This is all contingent on the fact that they will allow you to view matches. If you're allowed to be able to view matches online, view other people's matches. So, this is just an idea that I've had, and I thought it would be pretty cool. Because I think Alex. I haven't seen Alex Wolf. I haven't seen any of the other players coach. I have seen Alex Valle coach, and he's a really good coach. So actually, I think that if I would want him to teach me Super Turbo, because I think he'd be a good coach on that. The only thing I wish though, and now I thought about it. This is totally random, but you know what, Alex, you remember when you was streaming CVS 2, and I don't know who you were playing, but they were playing Chun Li, and she did her super, and you parried all of the hits just like Daigo did. And you did your own combo and you killed her. Man, that was great. I wish I recorded that. I wish I recorded that. That was great. Yeah, people. He was playing with Ryu, and someone was playing with Chun Li, and Chun Li did a super. He parried all the hits. He just basically did the same thing that Daigo did and killed. So, yeah, that was basically cool. Maybe if anything, Capcom might want to consider uh, doing is that, just like um, they do this with football, they do this with baseball, they do it with almost all sports. Why not? If they do online tournaments, why not? Record the matches and then sell them. Because people will eat that up, especially if they're right. Especially if the game is majorly popular, this is the time where you want to sustain interest. And you know, I would love to see what high. I can, but I know if I was just starting playing Street Fighter and I saw that I could download videos of very high level play, I would definitely love to see that. Even if I won't understand everything that I'm looking at, I would like to see what they do or don't do. Afro Legends, let me tell you, dude, I do not want to play against your ball walk ever. Your ball walk is too dang mean. Too mean, too mean, too mean. Too, too dang mean. That would be nice, having it on TV or cable. All right. Well, people, we got 32 people listening right now. And since the phone line is free, 425-738-6216, if you have anything that you want to discuss tonight, go ahead and call in. And just tell me what you think. It's 425-738-6216. And on AlphaISM.com, if you have a microphone or a headset, you can get in through Skype. Skype is the better of the two because the quality is just a lot better. And that's why I recommend, microphones are cheap, people. Um, No. Okay, this backwards compatibility thing. Okay, well for CVS2, I thought CVS2 did play on Xbox 360, but I guess I was wrong. Okay, but from what I understood though, I don't get this. I don't get this. I don't understand this. They changed CVS2 on Xbox on for Xbox, and I thought that's like to be avoided at all costs. Like CVS2 on Xbox and GameCube are to be avoided because they're not quote unquote arcade perfect. Not that they made the game any worse. It's just that they quote unquote wasn't arcade perfect. So, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, by now I would think that arcade perfect will lose its meaning because most tournaments are now on console anyway. But yeah, that's what I heard anyway. You know that there ought to be avoided at all costs. Um, I've actually heard that on the CVS2 for GameCube, they actually put some work into that. Like they made P Groove a lot better, and they beefed up a couple of characters and so forth and so on. It wasn't just they made it look like they tried their best in there. I guess they didn't look like they didn't have a whole lot of time, but they tried to balance the game somewhat by making P Groove better and so forth and so on. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a CVS2 player, but from what I heard, that CVS2 changed on Xbox on. Okay, someone's telling me it's arcade perfect, but not glitch perfect. Oh, no roll cancel. That's right. That is right. So that's not arcade perfect then. Oh well, I've had so many freaking arguments. No, I'm not me personally, but I've heard so many freaking arguments about roll canceling. Some people say roll canceling ruined the game. Some people say roll canceling makes the game a lot better than it would have been because it made characters normally would have been very, very, very weak a lot better, and so forth and so on. I don't know because I don't play the game enough to give an opinion, and besides, there's no way to know for sure anyway because I guess the only way to, I mean, how soon between the release of CVS2 and the discovery of roll canceling? I don't know if there was very much time between those two. So yeah, like on P Groove they have super cancels, and they changed the S&K meter. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. You know, but it's one of those things where I would like to know that the people that program these games. I wonder where they are now. You know, maybe it would be a good idea to have a thread about this. Someone asked, "What is Virtual Console on Nintendo Wii?" Virtual Console, think of it as the Xbox Live Arcade, but instead of arcade, they did classics on console. So like you can play the original Legend of Zelda. You can download it for like what $3 or something, or buy it and download it, and you'll be able to play it. Original Legend of Zelda. But they're also doing not just like Nintendo titles. They're doing Super Nintendo titles, Nintendo 64 titles, even TurboGrafx 16. Because I heard that Bonk is not available for download. Um, the thing that we're waiting for is, see, there was a rumor, and this rumor came out a few months ago, that Sega CD games will be available for download on the PlayStation 3 network. Haven't heard about it since. I was assuming it was just BS, but it will be interesting who would get the rights for Dreamcast games. I mean, think about it. Is like, how would you guys feel? How would you guys feel if the Nintendo Wii for Virtual Console you'll be able, to download Dreamcast games? I mean, that'd be kind of interesting, or maybe for PlayStation 3. I mean, at least in my eyes, it wouldn't really affect me much. But that $600 don't sound quite so bad, but it still sounds bad to me. Oh, right. All right. I'm just reading the Okay. I was looking at the differences in CVS 2. You know what to do? They won't have to do something for Marvel. You know, they can't keep on using Dreamcast forever. Eventually, they're going to have to do something about it. But who knows? Who knows? Have anyone? Let me ask you guys a question. Has anyone thought about any more of what Serlin said? Serlin, before he left, do I still have the show? Hold on for a second. Let me see if I still have the show. And no, because he said something that just interested me to no end. Hold on, let me see if I can find it right quick. Let's see here. That interview happened on... That interview happened on 4/18. Okay. I still have that show. Okay. So let me go in here and see if I still have it. I still have it. So let me restore this. And let me repeat that. Welcome to AlphaISM Radio. Tonight.
And
what's that?
well, how many colors were in Street Fighter 2?
How would you best implement that and not be downloaded? Have you played it yet?
I just downloaded it today.
And
here's an important factor to know about this.
To expose people who somehow cheated it. There's a separate one to play on the same screen.
Street Fighter,
I'm trying to find it. It's near the very
Marvel
end.
superheroes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you timeline it to how much money it made in coin op, how much money.
By the way, FMJ says that Sega got several licenses to Hulk, Captain America, and Thor to release games along movies based on. Let me see. And they got shot, and I think over half of them died. So, my sympathies for all the. That was the crazy. That was really crazy. By the way, FMJ says that this is a comic fighting game. Yeah, see.
Maybe what I'm saying.
But why would he say this would be the most on? I wish you the best, of course. And here we go. Months down the line, you may be able to say more on it. Okay. Yeah, listen to this part of the this interview.
And I told you I am just like last time. I was preoccupied with this, and now I'm preoccupied with something in the future. So.
You hear that? He's preoccupied with something. The last time he said he was preoccupied, he was talking about Super Turbo. All right. So now he's preoccupied with something else. Notice what he says, though. Static.
When you ask me in a few months, I'll be able to tell you what it was that we're also doing now.
Well, then, just like last time, I would ask you whatever you're preoccupied with now, with the addition of the Super Turbo product. Do you think it's a project that will interest the fighting game community?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say the following two things. Number one, it has nothing to do with Capcom, and number two, it could be the most incredible thing to happen to the fighting game genre.
Okay. What would be the most incredible thing that happened to the fighting game genre that isn't related to Capcom? And all I can think of is something along the lines of Marvel vs. DC. And I don't think it'd be Marvel vs. DC, but all I could think of is like a DC Comics fighting game, or something like that. I am probably so far off base, it's not even funny. But that's what he said. He said something the most incredible thing. For him to say it's the most incredible thing ever has something to do with Capcom, it must be something pretty special. It must be something pretty special. So, maybe he's working on King of Fighters 13. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the people are asking me. What do you think? I don't know what to think. I honestly don't know. All I could think of is like, you know what I told people I would like to see? A Justice League fighting game. Justice League Unlimited fighting game? I mean, sure, there was more characters in Justice League fighting game, and than Justice League Unlimited TV show, there was in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I mean, there's like heck of people. Man, I don't know, though. I don't know, dude. The most incredible thing ever to happen to the fighting game genre. Oh man, my brain hurts. I can't think. Anybody that has even a slightest clue of what he might be referring to. Something that maybe we heard about in the past, but we said it was probably that would never happen. I'd like to hear from you. I'm opening up the phone lines for you right now. Phone number is 425-738-6216. All right. There's no special, charges. It is long distance, but I assume that most of you have phones that are in the in the 21st century, where you get free weekends, free nights and weekends. And remember, it has nothing to do with Capcom, so it cannot be Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It can't be Street Fighter 4. It can't be, stuff like that. So, but I still believe, yeah, it could be a 3D game. And you know what? The thing about it is, oh man, I wish I knew. You know what? I wish maybe it's good I don't know, because I probably will be able to contain myself. But I don't think he's talking about Soul Calibur 4. I don't think he's talking about Tekken 6. I mean, remember, nothing to do with Capcom. People keep on talking about Street Fighter 4, SVC 2, CVS 3, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Nothing to do with Capcom. But notice the thing, though. This is his second fighting game project. Alright? So, keep that in mind. What would be the most incredible thing to happen to the fighting game? Okay. Kai just brought something to my attention. This is back in 2002. Midway enters an exclusive agreement with DC Comics to make at least 2 games based upon the Justice League franchise. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Midway has only produced one title, the Justice League. What? The JLA deserves a decent video game. So either the agreement broke, or there's still hope for a decent JLA. I mean, well, I really do think it's Justice League or DC related. I mean, because you know what? I can't think of anything else that would possibly account for him saying that, unless it's something that maybe has nothing to do with a particular video game. Maybe it's something that's happening, and shoot. if they're working on if Serlin is working on the Justice League, you know what? I don't know, man. I don't know. I would cry on the radio. I would sit there bawl my eyes out. If it turns out that he's working on the Justice League or a DC comic fighting game similar to what we see in Marvel, I don't know. I just nothing but tears be streaming down. I'm like, thank you. We'll see though. Most incredible thing ever. This is what kills me. He didn't say it'd be a great game, or it'd be, but the most incredible thing ever. Let me just replay that one small part again. Let me just. They're not on the internet. It's an intranet. So I would just say, why not apply that to games? Because of the lack, months down the line, you may be able to say more on it.
Yeah, and I told you I am, just like last time, I was preoccupied with this, and now I'm preoccupied with something in the future. So hopefully when you ask me in a few months, I'll be able to tell you
a few
what
months.
it was that we're also doing now.
Okay, so that's the clue. So he said a few months. People were. I'm not gonna forget to ask him that. You know what that means? That means it's coming soon. It's coming soon. All right, let's go on. Oops. Ask you whatever you're preoccupied with now, with the addition of the Super Turbo product. Do you think it's a project that will interest the fighting game community?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say the following two things. Number one, has nothing to do with Capcom, and number two, it could be the most incredible thing to happen to the fighting game genre. So, yes, I think they'd be interested.
Okay. That bugs me out. I can't. I don't know what. I don't know. I just totally lost. We need more data. That's what the problem is. We need more data, but we can't ask for more data. We can't ask for more data. All right, people. By the way, I'm going to apologize for not getting Alex Wolf on the radio. I will talk to him. He's really good about this, so maybe something happened. So let me get in touch with him. I'm going to, if anything, try to reschedule it for maybe Thursday. And we'll just see how it goes from there. Yeah, Kai has a point. He says it could be the best thing to happen to the fighting game genre. See, that's the only thing, though. I mean, I can only think. Oh, man. It's got to be DC Comics. It's got to be DC Comics because it all makes sense. Think about all of the movies will be based on DC comic characters. And in a successful TV series, this is only a matter of time. Damn it. We'll just have to see. I gotta ask for another snippet of info. I have to ask him. I just gotta. Okay. Well, anyway, I thank everybody for joining me tonight, and I mean, we had a large turnout tonight. I'm starting to start doing my shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I will still do my show on the weekends, but I think I'm going to stop. Oh well. Okay, Kunai told me that I would have to, that he's going to be there this weekend. So then, if not Thursday, The next show I should be broadcasting from Preppies. I know that all of you guys have heard this before, and I've heard it before too, but apparently this time he's really going to be there. So, with any luck, dang it, that's still on my mind about I cannot think what would be more popular for a fighting game than comics. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm totally mixing it. I don't know. People send me ideas left and right. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I'll remind you guys, at the end of this month, Guilty Gear Accent Core will be available for import, Japanese. So, just letting you know. Play the best 2D fighting game on the planet. Alright. I love everybody in that game except for Anji. Kai knows that. So, we'll see. And so I'll catch you guys later. Take it easy.